Guys, the Winter Olympics. You wish it could just be about the fun and the games. This year, though, in Sochi, Russia, it could be a lot of different layers here, Michael, in terms of the many news stories, Russia's stance on gay rights, the real threat of terrorism. We could be looking at a lot of stuff here. All of that, Bob, plus the fact I think in Sochi we have palm trees growing. So, you know, to hold the Winter Olympics there is quite a challenge. Yeah, I wonder, both from Russia's standpoint and from NBC's standpoint, how much risk is involved? I mean, God forbid, should something happen there, what does this do in Russia? I think they've spent about $50 billion on infrastructure getting ready for the games. And NBC has spent $775 million on the broadcasting rights to the Winter Olympics. For both of these, how do you look at the risk-reward ratio, Chuck?
So let's take that in the order you put it. So Sochi spent $51 billion, I'm told, getting ready for the Winter Olympics. So unlike Summer Olympics, where if you have a track and field, you can use it for soccer, you can use it for another sport, to build a luge, to build a bobsled run, to build a ski jump, chances are it's going to get used once in a lifetime. The most expensive thing that goes into hosting an Olympics for any host city is building the facility and the infrastructure. That number is more than double what the Chinese spent at $180 billion. It's a staggering amount. Now, there are those who have alleged there's some corruption in that. Putin has obviously denied that. I think it will be, regardless of how they're able to repurpose those facilities, I think it will be virtually impossible for Sochi to make money. Montreal, host of the '76 Olympics, they spent $2.7 billion. It took them 30 years to pay back that debt. You know, how this is ever recouped, hard to imagine. NBC, on the other hand, you know, they went into this to make money, okay? They went into this both for the global audience as well as to make money. They spent $775, as you said, Mike. They sold $800 million worth of advertising as of around January 13. They cut off taking new advertising just in case they don't hit their ratings number, which they anticipate to be around a 10. Mark Lazarus has stated that number will go higher. I suspect that NBC, which is, you know, doing round-the-clock coverage, round-the-clock live coverage, it spilled over into the news division, obviously, given the gay rights points that you made, the terrorist threat that everybody's aware of. It's become, you know, some of these ancillary things, they become the story themselves. And so for NBC, you know, but for the reputational risk if something goes wrong, okay, you know, those make it a bit more exciting. So I think that NBC could actually do quite well here. Yeah, you really do believe that the news division will be almost as busy as the sports division at times.
I do. See, I think there's more risk for Russia in the sense that their costs have already gone over budget by 500%.
Staggering.
So I think for them, they really want this as a showcase that Russia is a modern, safe country. As far as NBC, you know, I think Chuck hit it on the head. You look at, they have multiple channels, CNBC, MSNBC, NBC Sports. They're going to have 1,000 hours of live programming online. I think that's huge. And I think that what this tells me is they're already going to make a profit in advertising revenue over and above what they spent to broadcast it. But I think if you look at what they're going to get on other programming for news and stuff, it proves that their decision to go live with programming, which some people criticized them a lot for before the London Games, I think that was the right business decision.
You know, to me, it seems like the right business decision. I still argue, and I think we've seen this, that sports is DVR proof, okay? You know, you want to watch a football playoff game, you want to watch the Super Bowl, you don't want to see a tape of that. You want to see it live, okay? And I think NBC's decision to carry this sort of almost 24/7 live is the right one because, you know, while they'll continue to show highlights, I think fans want to see it as it happens because that's how, you know, that's why people watch sports, for the sheer, you know, excitement of the moment.